Hi there, and welcome to Paul and Ted's Talk Time. I'm Ted, this is Paul, and today we are talking about Barbie. Is Barbie a good role model for young girls, teenagers? Paul?
Interesting one. Superficial tyrant or innocent, innocuous child's toy?
Well, let's give some background on Barbie. Barbie, is made by Mattel, which is a huge US toy company. Now, Barbie has something really, really good going for her. She has the same birthday as me. Can you believe that, Paul? March 9, but she's 2 years older than me. 1959, she was invented. And this US company, which makes these dolls, they've sold over 1 billion of these dolls.
Does she share the same unrealistic body proportions as you?
She does, yeah. 11.5 inches high, okay? And if you put that in real terms, she's 5'9" tall, blonde hair, 36-inch bust, 18-inch waist, and 33 inches round the hips. And 1 billion people have bought this. Now, that's something, isn't it?
Now, what are the arguments for and against that?
Well, the obvious argument is, will people try and look like her? And is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, let's start with the first question. Do you think that, your typical young lady growing up would like to look like Barbie?
Well, I can't speak on personal terms for Barbie because I never had a Barbie doll. I had Action Man.
Me too. Yeah, from the same company, by the way.
Okay, so if you look at Action Man, now did I try to aspire to be anything resembling Action Man?
Probably.
No, I don't think. When I materialized into an adult, no, I didn't. Are there any remnants of or traces of Action Man in me from my Action Man childhood days? No.
Yeah, I mean, I also had Action Men, and we're going to get onto accessories as well, because it's an important point of how the accessories over the years have changed. But anyway, for the time being, let's talk about Action Men because it's the male equivalent. These were effectively the same size male dolls and basically military based, weren't they? I mean, they were what, army uniforms, and you can dress them up in uniforms for armies from other places in the world. I remember mine had a Russian outfit, an American Marine outfit. He had all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Now Barbie, of course, is the same, right?
Well, I mean, here's a question. Does Barbie want to make you think?
No, I don't think she does by herself. Yeah, but I mean, there she is, and she has everything. She has cars, she has her own private jet, she has her house, she has a modern kitchen.
So she's a symbol of modern day consumer capitalism.
Affluence. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she has everything. And then people were complaining in the old days about, she's a blonde, and then of course she has all her different wigs and stuff. And then, the racial people got going, this is a white blonde girl. So then they changed the color and had Cinco de Mayo Barbie. Can you believe that, for the Latin look? So there you go. I mean, this toy has evolved so much over the years. Absolutely fascinating. Yeah.
So, peer pressure, is there a lot there?
It's got to be, hasn't there? I mean, where how it manifests itself, I wouldn't be so sure. But I mean, definitely when you were giving, let's say you were giving your daughter a Barbie, this is what she wanted. Right?
Isn't this just a classic case though of PC gone overboard? Political correctness gone overboard.
Yeah, but they were complaining a long time ago. I mean, they were complaining 30 years ago about Barbie, this and that, and things going wrong. And there's all sorts of lawsuits along the way, because of this and because of that. I mean, it's an extended history. It's 62 years going on here. So 62 years, 1 billion plus dolls. That's an awful lot of influence, isn't it?
I'm not so sure, because we don't know for sure how quantifiable this influence is, do we?
True.
I mean, just getting back to what we said just a moment ago about Action Man and its influence on us. I mean, isn't this just a case of a child playing with a toy that has no comprehension of, whether it's going to have the proportional correct breast size or the body perfect image? It's just a child playing.
But she's kind of cool, Barbie, isn't she? She's cool.
In what way?
Well, she's well dressed. She has all the gadgets. She has nice cars. She has a dog. Yeah.
Okay.
A better looking dog than that mutt you've got out there, Paul. And basically, she has everything. Her own, as I said, her own jet, modern kitchen. There are accessories.
So are you saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Got to be bad, hasn't it? Because if
Why?
well, because
Isn't that the real world, that the people, we live in a capitalist, consumerist?
Yeah, but it's not attainable for most people, is it? Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about some of these quotes that I've got here?
Yeah, hit us with some quotes.
I mean, because we've been focusing on the negative. These are some of the quotes that Barbie says in some of her videos. Okay.
Okay.
Live your dream.
Mm-hmm. Live your dream. Good.
Anything is possible.
Oh yeah.
Magic happens when you believe in yourself.
Okay.
It feels good to be part of something bigger than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
True courage is pursuing your dream even when everyone else says it's impossible. Now, those are just a small sample. Now, what's negative in that?
Well, I'll tell you what's negative. When they first introduced talking for Barbie, okay, basically each Barbie doll, they had 270 different lines which could be possibly spoken by Barbie. Each doll was programmed to be able to talk 4. So you would never get 2 of them the same. That gave 275,000 different combos of these sentences. Now, some of those sentences, to counteract what you've just said, were, will we ever have enough clothes? What is that? Will we ever have enough clothes?
It's an innocuous statement, isn't
Really?
it? To a child.
Will we ever have enough clothes? Like, having got where the big seller is for Action Men and Barbie is once the doll's there, then the child is going to ask, well, can you get me for my birthday the car or the dog or this or that? I mean, they're going to be asking for accessories,
But this is just McDonald's marketing.
Yeah, straightforward
isn't it?
marketing.
And who's going to argue against that? What we're looking at here is, are there any lasting, permanent, malicious?
Not necessarily malicious. Let's look at the positives and the negatives.
Psychological damaging.
Yeah, but that's a bit strong, maybe. But so you don't think that a sort of a typical a girl growing up, 10, 11, 12, 13, I guess 13 would be the cutoff age, more or less, when you'd stop playing with Barbies? I mean, Action Men, what age did you stop playing with them?
8 or
8?
8 or 9.
Oh, no, I ate much longer than that.
I can't honestly remember. It might have been.
Yeah,
might have been.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, probably up to 10 or 11, I would say.
Maybe.
12,
Yeah.
So let's assume there's a similarity here with girls. Okay, so they're going to be going to play with Barbie during some pretty formative years. Would that be fair to say?
I think so. There has been research done by the American Psychological Society on this, and again, it's documented here. And they did some research into the effects of Barbie, and it did transpire that they looked at some of the doll and Barbie, and there were significant negative results.
Really?
Yeah.
In what respect? Can you sort of pinpoint a few?
Self-esteem was one. The children had lower self-esteem
because they couldn't live up to Barbie.
I've not looked at it with a microscope.
Yeah, but I mean, this is logical, isn't it?
Yeah, but the research clearly indicated that Barbie had a negative impact.
Okay, so Barbie obviously gets sold in, I would think, practically every single country. So therefore,
not Saudi Arabia. It was banned in Saudi Arabia. Well,
shocker. Yeah. But I mean, we can safely say that in, let's say, some less affluent countries, this doll is for sale, along with all her accessories, creating a very, very unattainable image. Yeah. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, for me, I mean, if you're young and you're playing, playing with Action Man, and we had tanks and we had machine guns and stuff. You're never, most people are not going to grow up and become.
Well, that's a good example, isn't it? I mean, how many young boys? Okay, we're going off slightly.
Yeah, but not really. Yeah.
How many young boys play with guns?
All of them.
Yeah. And how many end up being mass murderers going about shooting people?
Okay, but let's swing it a little bit. Well, how many of them end up joining the military, for example?
Hard to quantify.
Hard to quantify, but it's certainly some. I mean, there wouldn't be anybody. Let's say, let's use our country.
Joining the military isn't such a bad thing.
No, that's not at all. I mean, this is it. It's positive. I mean, anybody who was in the military these days, I mean, in the Western world, let's say, 100% sure was probably playing with Action Man or the equivalent of as a kid. Would that be fair to say? Yeah. Okay. Now, there's an attainable thing there. I mean, as you grow up, you can join the army. It's your choice whether you do so or not. But with Barbie and all her accessories, planes, sports cars, how many people can achieve that? Isn't that a little different?
Isn't this just some innocuous, vicarious child's play that's at work here? The child has the opportunity to have a Barbie doll, vicarious, live in this world of the Barbie doll house with her little boat, with her airplane, fantasize about it, end of story. What's the harm in that?
No harm at all. Well, okay, I mean, that's one way of looking at it. It isn't the way a lot of people have seen it.
So what are the arguments against that?
Well, creating a false image of life, I mean, and also, here's another big one, of course, the role play thing, in as much as what is Barbie's job in life. And then they have accessories of various jobs for Barbie, and these include ballet teacher. Okay, right. So, I mean, obviously these jobs are structured to make it that she has to buy an outfit, et cetera, and obviously it's marketing in that respect. But here again, once again, you're giving this child the sort of, the idea that, a woman will sort of grow up, be debonair, be fashionable, and end up doing something, which most women don't do. It's slightly different from saying that, you'll end up joining the army. It's far more, how do I say, realistic, for want of a better word.
I'm not so sure if I go all the way with you on this, because the object permanence of this thing, whereby you're looking at it from a very adult, critical, analytical perspective.
So you're saying that when the girl gets to that age, she drops it.
I'm just saying that when the child's playing with it, the object permanence of it lasts for the time duration that the child's playing with it. And 2 minutes later, she's moved on to something else and completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
You know, and we're in a completely different vicarious world where she's now in her tent and she's doing something else, or she's in the kitchen, or she's in the mechanic's room, or whatever it is. And
all right, let's put another question. Let's say we were playing Action Man. Let's turn the clock back 100 years, or 50 years, okay? And when you and I would be playing Action Man, for
I'd be
example,
shooting you to death.
Well, I was going to say, providing you weren't having a tantrum at the time, you know. But for example, how would we be playing that game? Would it be a war
Goodies
game?
and baddies.
Yeah, goodies and baddies. A war game.
I'd have to be in that kind of context.
It would, wouldn't it? Would we be on the same side?
Definitely not.
Yeah? Okay, so you'll be one end of the room, I'll be the other end of the room, and we'll be taking pops at each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Now, how would a bunch of young ladies be playing with Barbie? How would that? I mean, let's just use our imagination because I haven't a clue here. So how would that be? How would they be playing?
Well, there'll be a structure around the role models, wouldn't there? I'm going to be X, and my friend is going to be Y.
Pop stars.
Could be.
Okay.
Sports person.
And would it be sort of obviously blended in with whatever accessories they had at their disposal? You know, somebody may have the house, somebody may have the plane, somebody may have this.
Yeah.
You know,
but look at the social skills that are developing.
No. As they say in the US, a big 10-4 and that. You know, I'd go along with that.
There's a lot of social skills in the interaction there that's taking place: negotiation, discussion, distribution,
and peer bonding of actual friendships. Yep, I reckon that's all positive. The question is, you know, does anything negative creep in here at any point? In as much as, you know, let's say that we were talking about, you know, 3 or 4, 9, 10-year-old girls, anybody going to sort of take the leap and say, well, when I'm sort of grown up, I'm going to have these things and sort of think that that's going to be attainable, possible. I mean, you know, if you look at boys, I mean, boys and girls are different, by the way, everybody at home, yeah? But the thing is, when we grow up, we want to be, what do we want to be? I mean, you're, you know, a fireman.
Astronaut.
Astronaut? You maybe.
Well, hey,
fireman.
I was reared in the days of the Apollo moon landing.
True. Yeah,
a very significant developmental stage in my life.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I never remember wanting to be an astronaut. I mean, you know, sort of fireman.
Came a little bit short on that, actually.
Yeah, policeman, fireman.
Fireman. My dad was a fireman. Train driver, of course, was a hot one. Yeah.
Train driver's not bad. Yeah. Okay. So, girl equivalents.
Nurse, wouldn't it?
Nurse.
In those days, I mean, I'm casting my mind back now.
Yeah. So obviously Barbie the nurse. Definitely, we have one of them.
Now, this is something I wanted to ask you. Has the evolution of Barbie kept up with the trends in cultural?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like now, for example, you could. I don't know if this is the case, but you could have Barbie the mechanic.
Well, I don't know about that.
The engineer.
Yeah, but you know, you'd have electric cars, and you know, you would, some of her accessories would be green. I mean, in as much as, you know,
that'd be interesting to see. But I would put money on it that the Barbie can now be a mechanic.
This afternoon I googled Barbie 2021 accessories and wasn't surprised by anything I saw. I mean, everything was modern and you know, expensive as well. Lordy expensive, some of those things. And a lot of it revolving around the house, you know. I mean, take the doll's house over the years has evolved now. So the Barbie house now is like, it's like the kind of place you would like, insulated and this and that, and proper windows. Like in the old days, the dollhouse would be sort of how we say it, a little more antiquated, a little more rustic. But the modern day Barbie house, that is something. Modern kitchens, four-poster beds. There's a lot going on there.
When you mention these accessories with Barbie, does this include other people, or is it just materialistic things? I mean,
what other dolls?
Yeah.
Well,
does she have children? Does she have a husband? Are there gay relationships?
No, we haven't got that far, I don't think. No. But we do have Ken.
Who's Ken?
Ken? Oh. Ken is the boyfriend. Now, Ken's been going now for...
So when did he appear?
Maybe 55 years ago. Yeah.
As long ago as that.
Yeah. He's been around. And of course, most people don't know Barbie and Ken, because I think parents generally don't buy Ken as well. They kind of think, well, my kid's 8 or 9. I don't really need to be throwing in some guy here. So he gets left on the sidelines. Now, there's a guy here, right? And this is a funny one. I mean, Ken is like your quintessential, slim, metrosexual kind of guy who you would equate as not like a
metrosexual. Can you explain?
Okay, sort of a blue-collar worker, office worker, smooth, a little bit effeminate. Somebody who you would equate as being with Barbie. And here he is. I mean, he's an average-sized guy. He's slim. He's this and that, and of course, he's got this handsome face. Now, some guy in the US has paid $375,000 over the years to morph himself into the Ken. And of course, now he's famous, which means that people go to his house and take pictures. And of course, he's got, he's done his house up, with all the Ken accessories, because Ken has his accessories as well, because he's Barbie's boyfriend, and they don't specify whether he's a boyfriend or a husband. They don't go that far, but he is that. Amazing, no? Now, people trying to look like Barbie, which comes back to our original point. I mean, our girl's going to suddenly go out and get blonde hair to look like Barbie. The big one's the figure, though, isn't it? That's where it really comes into play for modern day.
Is it still a popular toy?
Since 2014, there's been a slump in sales, but that's probably more to a lot of other things coming onto the market, and of course, the video age and the games and stuff. So obviously, playing with things like Barbies and Action Men is probably a thing, not of the past, but something which most people don't do. I mean, if you went around a friend's house back in those days, they'll say, oh, what are we going to play? Are we going to play soldiers? Are we going to play Action Men? And if you went around a friend's house now, what would you be doing? Video games.
Well, yeah. I'm not so sure. Is there an interactive version of Barbie?
I'm sure there is, but I mean, would you be playing it? I mean, you'd be more likely to be shooting,
Well, no, but I mean, so many toys have taken on this adaptation of being able to, computerize them and to manipulate them vicariously through the medium of technology. For example, if you have the Action Man now, I'm sure if you looked online, you could find Action Man where you could take him around different rooms and create all sorts of weird and wonderful, vicarious kind of fantasies with him. I'm not so sure if that's the case with Barbie too. But interesting subject, Ted. And
Barbara Millicent.
Yeah.
Actually based on a real person.
Yeah. She's still alive?
I'm not sure, actually. Unlikely to be by now. Anyway, that about wraps it up for today. As usual, if you like these chit-chatty videos, like, subscribe.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button. Don't you just hate it when people say that?
Yeah, it's
every video I watch, I think this is so annoying.
Yeah,
but just hit it.
Yeah,
it won't do any harm.
No, it won't do.
Okay, thanks very much.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye.